जुदाई हो रही है। दरे ख़ैमे से अब आवाज़ आई, जुदाई हो रही है। सफ़र अंजाम को पहुँचा है मेरा, मगर तुमको अभी जाना है कूफा। तुम ही अब काफ़िला सालार होगी, तुम ही अब काफ़िला सालार होगी। हवाले तेरे अब मेरी ये बच्ची, जुदाई हो रही है। हवाले तेरे अब मेरी ये बच्ची, जुदाई हो रही है। मेरे सर पर अमामे को सजा दो, कमर बंद मेरे बाबा की ला दो। गिरे बाचाख इस कुर्ते का कर दो, गिरे बाचाख इस कुर्ते का कर दो। रहेगी धूप में अब लाश मेरी, जुदाई हो रही है। रहेगी धूप में अब लाश मेरी, जुदाई हो रही है। तुम्हें महमिल में जो लाए थे ज़ैनब, तुम्हें महमिल में जो लाए थे ज़ैनब, खुदा हाफिज़ ही कह कर चल बसे सब। जियो शबीर बनकर से जहां में, जियो शबीर बनकर इस जहां में। यही सब कुछ तेरी किस्मत में आई, जुदाई हो रही है। यही सब कुछ तेरी किस्मत में आई, जुदाई हो रही है। सकीना को हमेशा साथ रखना, सकीना को हमेशा साथ रखना। नमाज़े शब में मुझको याद रखना। सफ़र मुश्किल है पर तुम हौसला कर, सफ़र मुश्किल है पर तुम हौसला कर। तुम ही शबीर हो अब तुम हो गाजी, जुदाई हो रही है। तुम ही शबीर हो अब तुम हो गाजी, जुदाई हो रही है। सफ़र में साथ में आऊँगा तेरे, सफ़र में साथ में आऊँगा तेरे। मैं नेज़े पर चलूँगा साथ तेरे, यही मंजूर है खालिक को मेरे, यही मंजूर है खालिक को मेरे। रुलाएगी तेरी अब बेरिदाई, जुदाई हो रही है। रुलाएगी तेरी अब बेरिदाई, जुदाई हो रही है। खुदा हाफिज मैं मकतल जा रहा हूँ, तुम्हें रब के हवाले कर रहा हूँ। अजब मंज़र था शाहिद करबला में, अजब मंज़र था शाहिद करबला में। यही आवाज़ थी मौला की मोशी, जुदाई हो रही है। यही आवाज़ थी मौला की मोशी, जुदाई हो रही है। सब्र कर ज़ैनब हमशीर मेरी, जुदाई हो रही है। मोहम्मद वाल मोहम्मद सलवात।
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलावत। हाय उम्मत ने तुझे खूब सताया ज़हरा, तुझ पे जलता हुआ दरवाज़ा गिराया ज़हरा। जहाँ जिब्रील सलामी के लिए आते थे, जहाँ जिब्रील सलामी के लिए आते थे, जालिमों ने वही दरवाज़ा जलाया ज़हरा। सिर्फ 18 बरस जीती रही दुनिया में, सिर्फ 18 बरस जीती रही दुनिया में। इस कदर आपको उम्मत ने सताया ज़हरा, इस कदर आपको उम्मत ने सताया ज़हरा। जलता दर तुझ पे गिरा पसलियाँ टूटी तेरी, जलता दर तुझ पे गिरा पसलियाँ टूटी तेरी, चल बसाते रे शिकम में तेरा बच्चा ज़हरा। ज़ख्म पहलू का जो देखा तो अली कहने लगे, ज़ख्म पहलू का जो देखा तो अली कहने लगे, तूने ये ज़ख्म अली से भी छुपाया ज़हरा। बादे रहलत भी तुझे भी सुकून मिल न सका, जालिमों ने तेरे रोज़े को गिराया ज़हरा। बर मोहम्मद आल मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
नारे तकबीर,
अल्लाहु अकबर,
नारे रिसालत,
या रसूल अल्लाह,
नारे अय्याम-ए-फ़ातिमय्या सल्लल्लाहु अलैहा व सल्लमुल्लाहि अलैहा बावाज़े बुलंद सलवात।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद व अज्जिल। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद व अज्जिल।
ताकील ज़ुहूर इमाम ज़मान अलैहिस्सलाम बुलंद सलवात।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद।
رحم الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين افترض الله طاعتهم وأذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أما بعد، قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: إن الله يرضى لرضاة فاطمة ويغضب لغضبها. صدق النبي وآمنا به. زينوا مجالسكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ya ahibba'i, has created for mankind individuals that are selected and purified such that they may be a source of guidance for mankind until the end of time. And you find that in addition to the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to us Anbiya, He has selected personalities other than the Anbiya who are also divinely purified and act as a source of guidance until the end of time. And you find that in regards to these chosen individuals after Rasulullah, yani the Ahlul Bayt, and from the Ahlul Bayt, a personality who stands out due to her adhamah, none other than Sayyidati Nisa'il Alameen Fatimatu Zahra alayha salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. For you find that during the lifetime of Rasulullah, as he introduced Sayyidati Nisa'il Alameen to the Ummah, he introduced and made sure that he used all his effort to introduce Sayyidati Nisa'il Alameen as a personality who is divine, as a personality who is connected and affiliated and associated with the realm of the Malakut, with the realm of this alam of the Jabbar, which is greater than this earth, such that you, the Ummah of Rasulullah, when Fatima stands in front of you, when you hear about Fatima, do not look at her as any other normal human being or any other normal individual. There is a source of divinity that is attached to her. And you find that Rasulullah, through his hadith, he comes forward and he says, خُلِقَتْ فَاطِمَةٌ مِّنْ عَظَمَةِ نُورِ رَبِّهَا. Fatima was created from the grandeur of the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the nur of Allah in reality? These are concepts that the mind cannot even fully comprehend. But you find that the hadith mentions that on the day Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen was born, Sayyidah Khadijat al-Kubra Ummul Mu'mineen says that there was a light that began to emanate from this radiant face of Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen, a nur that radiated up towards the heavens. And she informs Rasulullah about this, and Rasulullah says to her, to Lady Khadija, Sayyidat Khadija Ummul Mu'mineen, this nur of Fatima is a nur that is so powerful as it ascended from the earth towards the Arsh. The Malaika prostrated in front of this Noor of Fatima, because this was a Noor that they had never seen.
Subhanallah.
Such that there is no misunderstanding of kufr over here. There has to be tawdeeh or clarifications. This sujood of the malaika in regards to the azama of the Noor of Sayyidati Nisa'il Alameen, does it constitute shirk? La. This sajda was a sajda performed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in acknowledgement of the grandeur of Fatima.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Because the wujud, the existence of a personality like Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra in itself is a dalil on the existence of Allah. There has to be a creator who has all these sifats that no other creation can possess in order for him to create somebody like Fatima. For her existence is dalil towards Tawheed in itself. If we understand this, Ikhwani, I want to take you on a journey of ma'rifah. Ma'rifah Nuraniyah. See, everything in this deen is based on ma'rifah. You find that Amirul Mu'mineen says, Awwalud deen ma'rifatuh. The first thing in religion, the basis of religion is the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you find that this is a general qaida, rule of thumb, ihna in our communities, for our children, for our madaris, for ourselves, when we want to embark upon the journey of spirituality, where is the starting point? If we understand the words of Amirul Mu'mineen, he says, Awwaluddin ma'rifatu, yani the first thing in religion, the basics of religion, the basis of religion is ma'rifah of Allah. Ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to do with usuluddin, aqaid. That's why you find ma'arif Allah, the issues that are taught in ilmul kalam, Tawheed, Adala, Nabuwa, Imama, and Ma'ad. The fifth one is Ma'ad. Ma'ad meaning afterlife. Yawmul Qiyamah, when we say that the five aspects of Usuluddin, Tawheed, Adalat, Nabuwat, Imamat, and Qiyamah, when we outline the fifth Usuluddin as Qiyamah, it may not technically be accurate because Qiyamah or Yawmul Qiyamah is a part of the afterlife. Ma'ad is afterlife that encompasses everything. Yani it encompasses Alam al-Barzakh, it encompasses Alam al-Raj'ah, it encompasses Yawmul Qiyamah in the Mahshar and its 50,000 years, and it also encompasses Jannah and Jahannam. Ehna, in our madhab, followers of Ahlul Bayt, we believe in all these five aspects. So together they come all together collectively as Ma'ad. For you find Amirul Mu'mineen says that the beginning point of religion is Ma'arif, yani to do with Aqaid. Aqaid is known as Usuluddin. Asl, yani the roots of religion, the foundation of religion. Whereas on the other hand, the fiqh is an expression of furu'uddin, yani the branches. When you have a tree, the strength of the branches is based on the strength of the root. If the root is healthy, if the root is well grounded, the entire tree flourishes. Now we take lessons from this. When we want to embark on the journey of spirituality, when we want to introduce deen to our children, when we want to make our children, our youth and ourselves more religious, then the starting point is usuluddin and not furuddin. You take a child right now and you force him into learning all the ahkam of furu'uddin, he may not necessarily pray and be compliant towards prayers so long as he doesn't know what Tawheed is. If he doesn't understand the concept of Tawheed, but shunu is salat, he's praying to who? He's praying for what? He may not be compliant in his salat, which is why when you turn your back from your child, the first minute they get or the first chance they get, that they will not pray or they will not fast. Why? Because that understanding of Tawheed, that understanding of Usuluddin is weak. The optimal or the prime situation is what? That the beginning point of religion for the children is Usuluddin. If they understand Tawheed from a very young age, by the time they reach Bulugh, they are compliant with their Salat and they are compliant with their Sawm. Not because it is forced on them by their parents, because they do it with their heart, they love. They have understood. They are now, their furu'uddin, their praying and their practicing of the religion is based on ma'rifah. On the other hand, you find that throughout history, emphasis on furu'uddin without emphasis on usuluddin leads to nifaq. We have a big research in regards to this and a network of ahadith that show us one of the alamat, inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq, one of the lectures that we have is the signs of alamat of a munafiq. Because this issue of nifaq was touched upon very sharply by Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen in her khutbah fadakiyya in Masjid al-Nabawi, and it is important that we contemplate on the words of Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen. For you find that one of the traits of nifaq is over importance on furu'uddin, or using furu'uddin as a shield to cover up defects in usuluddin. You find the bahath very, very interesting how the A'imma have taught us how to recognize things like these, make sure we are safe from their fitna, make sure we ourselves don't have those characteristics. But all these, inshallah, with the tawfiq of Allah in the nights to come. But the starting point, as we said, usuluddin, ma'rifah. And within this ma'rifah of tawheed is ma'rifah of nabuwah and ma'rifah of imama. And then there is this one personality, Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen, who connects the institution of nabuwah with the institution of imama. How well do we know Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen? How familiar are we with the reality of her adama? Ahibbai, the problem with this ummah from the beginning of time has been that they never fully understood or fully appreciated the divinity attached to Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen. And this is what we want to try and come a little bit closer to tonight. You find within the hadith that from the greatness and the divinity attached to Sayyidat Zahra is that upon the martyrdom of Rasulullah, Jibreel used to descend down upon Sayyida Fatima, and he used to convey with her revelations or revelations from her Lord. Allahu Akbar. And these conversations that happened between Jibreel and Sayyida Zahra were then compiled by Amirul Mu'mineen, and collectively this compilation is known as Mushaf Fatima, yani the scriptures of Fatima. It is important for us to understand concepts like these and these aspects of the seerah of Sayyidah Zahra that open a new door of ma'rifah. Ahibbai, you know the value of these individuals whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has selected. What is this Mushaf Fatima? And what is the divinity attached to this Mushaf? We have a narration in the book Basairu Darajat, and multiple narrations in Kitabul Kafiya Sharif and Dala'il al-A'imma or Dala'il al-Imama, together with a number of texts such that these hadith have reached a level of tawatur. Tawatur, be it ma'nawi or other forms, because hadith that are tawatur have a different number of aqsam, have different categories. In any case, hadith sharif narrated in Basairu Darajat, Imam al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, states, Inna Fatima makathat ba'da abiha or ba'da Rasulillah 75 yawman وقد دخل عليها حزن شديد على أبيها فعزا فكان يأتيها جبرائيل ويحسن عزاها ويطيب نفسها ويخبرها عن أبيها وعن مكانه وكان يخبرها بما يكون من بعدها في ذريتها وكان علي يكتب ذلك. يعني علي used to write that. وذاك مصحف فاطمة, or وذلك مصحف فاطمة. Imam al-Sadiq says that upon the martyrdom of Rasulullah, Sayyida Fatima al-Zahra lived for 75 days. And you know, Ahibba'i, that we have 3 narrations in regards to the istishhad of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. From this you have the 75-day narration, what is known popularly as the first Fatimiyyah, second Fatimiyyah and third Fatimiyyah. And you find that a person who contemplates over hadith and contemplates over the environment and the circumstances in which Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen was martyred, all 3 narrations are correct. Yani there's a hikmah why 3 dates have come up. Just like the way the date of her shahada is unknown with certainty, there is no certainty in that. You find that even the grave of Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen is covered with uncertainty. There are 3 possible dates for her istishhad, like the way there are 3 possible sites for her grave. And all this uncertainty was planted for a reason, because this uncertainty points towards her oppression by the ummah after Rasulullah. For in any case, Imam Sadiq says 75 days. And upon the martyrdom of Rasulullah, Sayyidah Zahra was inflicted with deep grief over the death of her father. This grief of Sayyidah Zahra over Rasulullah was not just pure emotional grief, yani the emotion that is experienced by a daughter who has lost her father. Abadan la. This is the grief of a woman who understands, who has a ma'rifah of Rasulullah. The higher your ma'rifah, the higher your level of grief. This is a qaida that you use even in your majalis Husayni. The more ma'rifah you have of Imam al-Husayn, the more your grief over Imam al-Husayn, the more your azah and the more your tears. In any case, he says that Sayyidah Zahra was afflicted by deep grief upon the martyrdom of Rasulullah. And as a result of this grief, Jibreel used to descend down on Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen, فَيَحْسُنْ عَزَاهَا, and he used to console her. Allah, Jibreel consoling Sayyidah Fatima. وَيَحْسُنْ تِيبَهَا, and he used to give her comfort, and he would tell her and inform her of the position of Rasulullah in Jannah, in the Alam al-Akhirah. And then the hadith goes on to say, Jibreel would inform Sayyidah Fatima on the events of the future and the dhulm, the oppression that would transpire or that would occur on her family after her. So Jibreel would talk to Sayyidah Zahra. He would tell her what would happen with Imam Hassan and what would happen with Imam al-Husayn alaykum salam, and with Amirul Mu'mineen, all the way until the ghaib of the Imam. As this conversation is happening between Jibreel and Sayyidah Fatima, and what is zahir, what is apparent, is that Jibreel descended upon Sayyidah Zahra multiple times, from the Shahada of Rasulullah until her own date of Shahada. And as these conversations took place between Jibreel and Sayyidah Zahra, Amirul Mu'mineen would sit and he would write these conversations on papers. These papers were then collected together and are collectively known as Mushaf Fatima. Tayyib. Doors of ma'rifah open from here. Just like the way there are a lot of ishkal, there are a lot of questions or misconceptions that surround this. And we want to go through each and every one of them for the time that we have today and the continuation inshallah tomorrow. The first ishkal that is put forward, the first misconception is this, in that when these hadith are looked upon, you have a group of people from the Nawasib who come forward and accuse the Shia of shirk, where they come and they say, look at the Shia, they believe that Jibreel descended upon Fatima after Rasulullah, and that another Quran was revealed for them, and hence this Quran is known as Mus'haf Fatima. So therefore they charge the Shia of kufr on two bases. On the basis that the Shia have another Quran after Rasulullah, this is number one, and the kufr on the basis that we believe Jibreel descended down upon Sayyidah Fatima. How do we answer misconceptions like this? Ahibba'i, Entum as Shia of Amirul Mu'mineen, Shi'at Fatima, it is our responsibility that we are eloquent in burhan, eloquent when it comes to giving proof, eloquent when it comes to understanding and defending our faith. Madhab Ahlul Bayt teaches us to abstain from every sort of violence. Never have you found in the history of Ahlul Bayt that they would encourage or propose violence against those who do not share the same faith as them. La. Rather, we're people of mantiq, we're people of logic, and we're people of dalil. And misconceptions like these that lead to unnecessary deaths and killings and charging a whole nation and a whole sect with kufr. The only way we can pass these difficult times is by clarifying misconceptions in an academic and in a logical manner. For we come forward and we say that the Shia do not believe in any other Quran other than the Quran that is present between the Muslimin in this day and age, starting from Surah Al-Hamd ending to Surah Al-Nas. All the Quran that we have, every copy of the Quran that is available within the Muslim world is the same copy of the Quran that is protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and compiled during the time of Rasulullah, even with the tartib, and this we have spoken about before. For the Shia do not believe in any other Quran. Neither do the Shia believe that Jibreel descended upon Fatima and gave her another Quran. What is known as Mus'haf Fatima, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. He says that in regards to the Mus'haf dhalika, he says, describing it, وَهُوَ في مثل قرآنكم ثلاث ضعفا. Somebody asked him, one of the companions asked him, what is this Mus'haf Fatima? He says the Mus'haf Fatima is a Mus'haf, yani a book that is 3 times the size of the Quran. Allah, the Quran is 1 volume, Imam Sadiq said 3 times that. And what happens is, mushkila, people read half the narration and leave the other half. So they would come and they would say, look, the Shia believe in a different Quran which is 3 times more than the Quran. Yani if the Quran has 6,000 odd verses, Mus'haf Fatima times 3 has 18,000. Look there, Imam said this. Baba, complete the hadith. Imam As-Sadiq goes on to say, وَلَيْسَ فِيهِ حَرْفٌ وَلَيْسَ فِيهِ حَرْفٌ مِّن قُرْآنِكُمْ. There is not a single word in that Mus'haf from the Quran. Yani it is a text which is totally separate from the Quran. Imam Al-Qadim himself says, وَلَيْسَ فِيهِ شَيْءٌ مِّنَ الْقُرْآنِ. The Mus'haf Fatima, when he was asked, what is this Mus'haf Fatima? Imam Al-Qadim says that it is a text that has nothing to do with the Quran. Yani it is not a Quran. So what we understand is this misconception that the Mus'haf Fatima was perceived to be a Quran is not an accusation which is new. It existed from the time of Imam As-Sadiq and Imam Al-Qadim. Tayyib. So the first thing we say, and the first thing we assert, is that the Shia don't have any other Quran other than the Quran that is recited. The Mus'haf is a religious text, a religious scripture that descended down upon Sayyidah Zahra The content of this, inshallah, we discuss tomorrow. But today we clear on one misconception in that. So this is one. Number two, people come forward and say, Ya Habibi, how can it be that Jibreel descends upon Sayyidah Zahra? Ya'ni, they say this is an exaggeration. And now this ishkal of exaggeration, much as it is put forward upon us by the Nawasib and the Wahhabis, and the age and the time, the generation in which we live, even our own people, from within our own circles, they question these fadail of Sayyidah Zahra. They come and they say, this is gulu, this is exaggeration. Is it possible for the malaika to communicate with individuals who are not from the Anbiya? This is a question. Is it possible for somebody who is not a Nabi? Is it possible for somebody who is not an Imam to communicate with the Malaika or no? And if it is possible or it is not possible, what is the dalil for this? Now we say it is absolutely possible. And the dalil from this is the Quran in itself. See, when we refer back to the Quran, it is important that our aqaid, our usuluddin is taken from the Quran, is backed up from the Quran. You understand the reality of Ahlul Bayt through the Quran. We are answering this misconception. Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra, neither a Nabi, nor was she an Imam. So how is it possible that somebody who is not a Nabi and who is not an Imam still be able to communicate with Jibreel? Is it possible or no? Now we said the proof of this is from the Quran. Yes, it is possible. How? We refer back Surah Al-Imran. Surah Al-Imran starting from verse number 42. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Verse of the Quran says, and when the Malaika said, Ya Maryam, O Maryam, indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has selected you, and then He has purified you, and then He has selected you again, yani selection, purification, and on top of that selection, and on top of that purification, another higher level of selection, azama of Sayyidah Maryam. Allah is telling us in the Quran, the Malaika are telling Sayyidah Maryam that Allah has granted you a high maqam. And then on top of that, the Malaika go on to say, Ya Maryam, uknuti li rabbika wasjudi warka'i ma'ar raki'in. The Malaika used to tell Lady Maryam, Sayyidah Maryam, Ya Maryam, you should ikniti, yani spend your time in kunut, spend your time in sujood, spend your time in ruku. The Malaika used to motivate Sayyidah Maryam in regards to her ibadah. For we understand over here from the Quran, Ya Ahibai, Sayyidah Maryam, she was not a Nabi. Sayyidah Maryam was not an Imam, yet the Quran teaches us over here that the Malaika was speaking with Sayyidah Maryam. If the Malaika can speak with Maryam and communicate to her, then how can we have an objection to the Malaika speaking with Fatima when Fatima is the master of Maryam in Jannah?
बुलंद से बुलंद तरीन सलावत
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil faraj. Because we have hadith from books of the Shia and the books of the non-Shia that come forth and say that Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra is the master of all the women, or the queen of all the women in Jannah. Yani hadith which is found in Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Tara, the Imam of the Hanbali sect, in his writing the Musnad, he has a hadith where Rasulullah says to Sayyidah Zahra, Ama tardin an takun Sayyida Ahlil Jannah? Ya Fatima, be happy with the status granted to you by Allah that you are the queen, Sayyida, the queen of all the women who will enter Jannah. Yani Sayyida Maryam will enter into Jannah or no? Bila shak Sayyida Maryam enters into Jannah. If she enters into Jannah, her master is Sayyida Zahra. And you find the same thing that is outlined over here within the Quran, Surah Maryam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأحب لك غلاما زكيا. Surah Al-Maryam, verse number 19. This verse speaks about Angel Jibra'il. You go back to Mufassirin of the Quran, regardless of which sect they subscribe to. The Mufassirin of the Quran come forward and say that Jibra'il came to Sayyida Maryam in the form of a man. And over here now a new whole entire bahath, research you can conduct in regards to the reality of the malaika. What is the hakikat of the malaika? What is the reality of the malaika? It is possible for an angel, is it possible for an angel to appear to somebody in the form of a human being? Yes, naam. Of course. You find over here. In this verse in Surah Al-Maryam, Jibra'il came to Sayyida Maryam in the form of a man. This is why, ajib jiddan, when you hear in the Masa'ib of Rasulullah that Malakul Maut came and he knocked on the door and he wanted permission to enter into the house. He came in the form of a person, and when he knocked on the door, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra turned her away. Now people come forward and say, these are exaggerations that are put by the Shia. How can Malakul Maut come, an angel of death, come in the form of a human being? Habibi, it is within the Quran. If Jibra'il could come in the form of a human being to Maryam, then you think Malakul Maut cannot assume the position of a human being when it comes to Sayyidah Fatima Zahra? Misconceptions can be clarified if we understand the Quran, ya ahibbai. No exaggeration when we say that Sayyida Fatima Zahra was the muhadditha and the muhaddatha. Muhadditha, yani somebody who speaks with the angels. Muhaddatha, someone who responds and is able to understand and listen to the communications of the malaika. She speaks to them and they speak to her. Many times it can be a one way, depending on the level of ma'rifah that there is. But Sayyidah Zahra, abadan, greater than that. And this is from drops in the ocean of the greatness of Sayyidah Zahra. If Allah gives us the opportunity, inshallah, in the further nights, we shall continue with this topic. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ahibai, these majalis of Sayyidah Zahra are majalis of ilm and majalis of mawadda and mahabba. And it is your presence in these majalis that will be a source of shafa'ah. It is these majalis that bring a happiness to the face of Sayyidah Zahra. That every majlis, we have to take every opportunity to revive the madhlumiyya and the oppression of Ahlul Bayt. The oppression tonight, I want to narrate for you in the Masa'ib the relationship between Sayyidah Fatima Zahra and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Allah. There is a very deep connection between Sayyidah Zahra and Maulana Abu al-Fadl. As the narrations tell us, hadith, that Yawmul Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, when the entire khalq, creation, has been raised and they are in the mahshar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell the entire creation, lower your gaze, for indeed Fatima is coming through the mahshar. The hadith mentions that she will be surrounded by a number of the malaika. And as she makes her way towards the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the narrations mention that she will walk and in her hands there will be a tasht that is covered. There's a tasht which is covered. She walks towards the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and she says, Ya Allah, ahkum bayni wa bayna man dhalamani. She will say, Ya Allah, I seek justice. You rule between those who oppressed me in the dunya. Rule between me and them. I want your justice, Ya Allah. The angel Jibreel will cry out. Imam as-Sadiq says the angel Jibreel will cry out and say, O Fatima, for which type of oppression do you want justice for? Do you want justice? Yani this proceedings of justice, which type of dhulm should we start? She will say, angel Jibreel will ask her, Ya Fatima, should we seek justice for that broken rib? Allah. Fatima will say no. Jibreel will ask her, Ya Fatima, do you want to seek justice for Muhsin that was shaheed? Sayyida Zahra will say no. Allah. Jibreel will ask her, Ya Fatima, do you want to seek justice for the manner in which Hassan al-Mujtaba was poisoned? Fatima will say no. Allah, Allah. Jibreel will say, Ya Fatima, do you want to seek justice for those who beheaded your son Hussein? Allah. Fatima will say no. Jibreel will ask her, Ya Fatima, then for who should you seek justice at the beginning? Who do you want to seek justice for? The narrations mention that Sayyida Zahra will remove the cloth from on top of the tasht. On the tasht there are going to be two severed arms. Sayyida Zahra will say, Oh Jibreel, I want Allah to judge between me and between the person who severed the arms of Abbas. Why? Because Fatima will say, these are the hands of that Abul Fadil who conquered the river Furat but did not drink from that water because my son Hussein was thirsty. Allah, Allah, Ya Ahibai. The Maktal mentions that when Abul Fadil was returning back from the Furat and both his arms were severed, Abul Fadil was still on the horse. May Allah give each and every one of us a chance to go to Karbala al-Muqaddas. But when you go to Karbala, look at this maqam. Look at the maqam where the hand of Abul Fadil, the right hand, was cut. And then look at the maqam where the left hand was cut. There is at least a distance of 200 steps. Yani Abul Fadil Abbas was doing jihad with one hand for all that distance. And then from the maqam of the right hand, look at where the haram of Abul Fadil is, the grave. An entire distance Maulana Abbas went without any arm. The Maktal mentions that when the enemy severed both his hands, Abul Fadil is on the horse holding on to the part of the alam with the remaining of his arms and his chest. The Maktal mentions that the enemies began to shoot arrows at Abul Fadil from every direction. From the arrows that hit Abul Fadil, there are 3 arrows that point out. The 3 arrows that stand out. The first arrow is that arrow that pierced the mashk of Abul Fadil. Because as the water began to drip down from the mashk, Abul Fadil, the first thing that came into his mind is Sakina is waiting by the Khaybaga. For Abul Fadil says, the mashk is pierced. If I go back towards the Furat, how do I refill it and I don't have any arms? The second arrow is an arrow that pierced the eye of Abul Fadil. The narration mentions that when they showered him and they shot him with arrows, one of the enemies came. One of the enemies struck Abul Fadil with a tent pole on his head. The narrations mention that when Abul Fadil fell on the plains of Karbala, he fell face first. That arrow that had pierced his eye was sunk even deeper. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Ya Rabba Muhammad ajil faraja ali Muhammad. Ya Rabba Muhammad ihfidh ghaibata Muhammad. Ya Rabba Muhammad intakim li ibnati Muhammad. Matam Fatima, Matam Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. हुसैन या 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 हुसैन जियो आदमी जियो जियो हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन दिल सकीना में नजर फौज पे होठों पे दुआ लो अलमदार 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 चला 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 मश्क कांधे पे रखी प्यास कुछ और बढ़ी आ गई वो भी घड़ी जानी बेने चली लेके फरेरे की हवा लो अलमदार 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 चला 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 शोर मौजों से उठा मरहबा सल्ले अला बोली गाजी से वफा बोली गाजी से वफा पेशवाई को बढ़ा सर को झुकाए दरिया लो अलमदार 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 चला लो अलमदार 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 चला पानी चुल्लू में लिया दिल पे एक तीर लगा दी सकीना को सदा दी सकीना को सदा पानी लाता है मेरी जान भी तेरा सका लो अलमदार 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 चला 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 लो अलमदार अलमदार जियो जियो चला मश्क भरना थी भरी को के प्यासा था जरी तशगी कहती रही तशगी कहती रही पानी पी ले अलमदार जो वो आह मिला लो अलमदार 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 चला लो अलमदार 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 चला फिर भी पानी ना पिया प्यास को भूल गया सानिए शेरे खुदा अपने घोड़े को सुबह मेरे जरी लेके मुड़ा लो अलमदार 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 चला 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 सिर्फ कोशिश थी यही पानी पहुंचाएं अभी पूरी हसरत ना हुई पूरी हसरत ना हुई सकीना पे लगा तीर जफा। लो अलमदार अलमदार अलमदार, लो अलमदार 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 चला। अली लो अलमदार 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 चला। लो अलमदार 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 चला। तीर पर तीर चले, शान गाजी के कटे, रन में अब्बास गिरे, रन में अब्बास गिरे। कहते थे आओ मदद को मेरी इब्ने ज़हरा। लो अलमदार 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 चला। 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 या हुसैन या हुसैन। तामिल हुक्म में मेरे कुछ भाई अभी पाकिस्तान से वापस आए हैं, उनके हुक्म पर और तमाम मोमिनीन की फरमाइश पर आपकी खिदमत में फिर पेश करूंगा वो लोहा। सब मिलकर मातम करेंगे। या हुसैन 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 या हुसैन। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। नब के दर खेमेदा है, नब के दर खेमेदा टकरा मारे दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब जियो जियो माफी जियो सलामत रहो जिंदगी दे मौला है गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत जियो जियो घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। सिबह क्यों करते हो इसको प्यासा, मुस्तफा का ये तो है नवासा। एक बहन मकतल में है, एक बहन मकतल में फरियाद करती रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है ज़ैनब विधि मौत दिया घड़ियां गिरने दी रह गई। है है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई
ना हुसैन कुमारी वासिताए कल भेड़ाए आसिराए वीर थे कातिल नु वीर थे कातिल नु मिलता करेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब
विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया
कल मुख मेहंदी
गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब
हसाना रोंदे कल मुख मेहंदी
इहो गाल जिगर तू
खा गई
जे बेड़ी दे होवन वीर 18
टुरन दी केरी लोड़े
वीर दीवाना च अतिश मरदा सामने मेरी दे हाय कुसदा हुण ते गाजी आवे हाय हुण ते गाजी आवे वल वल सटेंदी रह गई है
ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई
कर दिया कुरियां को पारा पारा शेख सर ने देखे लाए आजा लौट के आजा गाजी है लौट के आजा गाजी ज़ैनब बुलाती रह गई है ज़ैनब
विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई है ज़ैनब विरद मौत दिया गरिया गड़ेंद रह गई
अकबर तेरी बहनों को तेरी याद सताती है अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद
सताती है अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है।
वीरान हवेली में बीमार बुलाती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सुलाती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरा वादा था मैं लेने को आऊंगा। बिन तेरे मेरी बहना चेहरा न सजाऊंगा। कपड़े तेरी शादी के हम शीर बनाती है। वीरान हवेली में बीमार बुलाती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती 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 है। जख्मी था तेरा सीना कल ख्वाब में देखा था। कुछ आग के शोले थे जलता हुआ झूला था। इस ख्वाब की सुगरा को ताबीर रुलाती है। वीरान हवेली में बीमार बुलाती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है। अकबर तेरी बहना को तेरी याद सताती है।